have a physical talk, and we could welcome you to our department physically. So yes, if we could.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kanya.
Okay, YouTube is live now. I will just, it is already there in the mail that we had sent, but I would like to introduce Professor Shehnaz Husne Jahalina. She is a professor, director of Center of Archaeological Studies at the University of Liberal Arts in Bangladesh, and a very prolific scholar. And her works which she has published, she's author of Excavating Waves and Winds of Exchange, a study of maritime trade in Bengal, in early Bengal, and it has remained as one of the most well informative and with a very phenomenal change in the understanding of maritime trade in early Bengal. What we saw after she published this. She has a number of research articles on archaeology and art history from Bangladesh, but she has a very, what is called, an all-encompassing regional idea, which is even more attractive. So in her understanding, she includes Eastern India, she includes Myanmar up till Thailand, and or maybe even beyond, and that is what actually makes it very, very for research very important, because it connects so many dots. Currently, she's a consultant of the display design team of the Liberation War Museum in Dhaka, and Shehnaz has also been a dear friend, and it's really my privilege that today, I could invite her, and also she accepted and she's talking to us. With this, I would like to request Professor Shehnaz to start her talk. Yes. You can please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you very much. In fact, good afternoon to all of you. And let me first express my sincere gratitude to the head of the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, IIT Guwahati, Professor Dr. Shukanya Sharma, and her colleagues for inviting me in this webinar, as well as giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts with you. And needless to say, I'm honored to be here in this capacity. So I will share my slides so that put up my video and share the slides so that you can concentrate on this and then discuss the paper. I'll go out. I think I will present the paper, and then if you have questions, and I answer accordingly. So let me share this the slide. I would also thank Debopriya Boshu and her committee, all committee members, for organizing this seminar. It shows that it's not. Do I need any permission from you to share the contents, Debopriya?
No, I think you can just upload.
Yes, you will just need to open the share tray and share your screen.
It's not
Shehnaz, the open share tray button, can you see that? Which is just beside the microphone symbol on the right.
Yes.
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 If you
I
click
have
there, it says.
I already
Yes, and
clicked.
you have to open your presentation in the
Yeah,
hard
that's
disk.
already.
Yeah. So if it is open in your system, in your screen, then
Is that coming to you? It's not coming.
no. If you once you open it, and then from open share tray it will come. If you keep it on the screen, open, and now you do open share tray. You click that.
Yes, but it's not coming somehow.
Yeah. Then that screen share, you do screen share.
Share content here, right?
It says screen. Yeah, screen share. You click on that, and then it comes as there was this little blue box at the center which you have to click.
Blue box.
So it says choose what to share.
Oh, that
Has a new page open. Choose what to share.
uh, in fact, that where the point is the leaf there, I should have tried earlier. Here is one sign called share content.
Okay, it's
Not the
open
share.
share tray you have, right? You click on that.
It doesn't share.
Tray, which is on the right hand side of the microphone symbol, in between the three dots and the microphone symbol.
Three dots and the
There's
microphone
an
symbol.
arrow which goes up.
Yes.
Yes,
There
you
I
click
am
there.
seeing. It is not. It is just getting round and then getting stuck. It's not coming somehow.
Oh, if you click on that,
It's just now. It is just moving and then finally it gets stuck.
oh, there's some problem.
Should I get out and come in again?
Open share tray, and it's not sharing at all.
Yeah,
There are
it just it's just getting like round when it is like loading, but then is finally it is not coming. It should get into this now the screen because the slide is open. Hide share options, share content. There is in fact this in Teams there's share content, not the screen, right?
Can you post it to me, Shanaz? I will do it from my
Yes.
end. Will it come?
Yeah.
Through open share tray, it should be possible. It's not possible.
Why it is not coming? It should get into the Teams. You cannot attend. You wouldn't be able to share for or facilitate. Learn more. I think it needs a permission. Devapriya, can you just give me the access?
Yes, I
Google,
have already given you access. So I
Okay, so that
okay.
I leave. And
what happened? Has she gone off air?
I think she has logged out and she'll log back in.
Okay.
I have given all the permissions, so let's see if it works.
Yeah, without permission, I think you can do it, no? Okay, so waiting in lobby. I have allowed her.
Yeah, I have also allowed.
Yes. Let's see.
Thank you. Is it happening?
Let me see.
Sukanya, you're also an admin. Would you see if it's showing if Professor Shahnaz's thing? It's the status is external, but would you see if you can see any make a participant sort
Presenter.
of option? Yeah, make a presenter, because I have already made her a presenter, but I don't know if it's
Yeah, you have already made her a presenter.
yeah.
So now I can only make her an attendee, which she will.
Yeah, which we don't want. We want
Yeah.
presenter role.
It never happens like this.
Yeah. Yes, but I have made her presenter. I will check again, but
Yeah, Devopriya.
no, I'm trying to see, but no. Which meeting options do you mean, Rubu? Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. But when I look at the meeting options, edit the options,
Yes.
if I go to edit, uh, there are no required attendees. So I mean, I don't see the option for allowing all. No, there are no required attendees. It's just uh, shared with the channel, so anybody who has access to the channel would be able to access the meeting.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
are you using Chrome or Edge, or are you using a different browser? This also could be a browser issue.
Yeah, it could also be a browser issue.
I'm using Chrome.
Okay, and your status shows offline.
Hmm?
Your status, it shows offline. Could you maybe try changing that?
What offline?
Shanaz, can you send the PPT to me in my Gmail account? I can share with me and I will screen it from here.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be the quickest as of now. If you just post it to me.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
So the meeting options already has everyone can present.
Okay. Shahnaz, you have posted it to me?
I'm just sending mail to you.
Huh.
Right?
Just email it to me and I will do it from my end. Even if you put it in the chat box, the PPT, office staff can share, and you can also
Box.
you have posted it to me, then I can do it from my end. Either way. But it must be huge with all your images, so I don't know.
Here, I don't know why this not giving me any options to. It is just moving and then it's getting share
So I
content
think,
is there, but not.
okay. So I think
I'm
you just
sending. I'm
put it in.
sending.
Yeah, yeah. I hope it comes quickly.
So it will be in the Google Drive link. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
have you sent it? I have not received it.
No, it's just a second. I'm just uploading. check whether it has reached you.
Yes, it is there.
I sent. So
Okay.
it is in the Google Drive. You have just linked there.
Yes, yes, I've opened it. Just a moment. It's opening.
Okay, then
Mm.
share.
Yes, I will share it just now. It's a heavy file. That's why it's taking time. Yeah, yeah, it's there. I'm doing it.
Okay.
Yes. Hello, Shanaz?
Yes,
Yes.
I can see it.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the full thing. Okay, so let us again start. Good afternoon to all of you. As I have already expressed my sincere gratitude to Professor Dr. Shukunya Sharma and all her colleagues, Debapriya Boshu and the committee, so all of these, all staff, colleagues, everyone, I'm very thankful to you that you invited me in this webinar as well as giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts with you. And I'm really honored to be here in this capacity. As you see in the title of my presentation today, is Archaeology and Beyond, Understanding Communities and Cultural Heritage of bhitargarh. And you can understand from the title that I will not only focus archaeology of bhitargarh, but also talk about the communities and their diversified microcultural heritages in intangible and creative cultural heritages, along with the tangible one. Uh, can you just the next slide, please? So. Yes, so now here you can we can see this Bangladesh and Panchaghar's location. It's not only the location, so the the proper text where Panchagharh is located. The area this is very close to Nepal, Bhutan, Tibet, Sikkim, Shiliguri, Jalpaiguri, Kuchibihar, and Assam. Therefore, the history and heritage of this entire region evolved from various utilitarian and intellectual practices over thousands of years. And we see a common cultural practices in their indigenous knowledges, ideas, ritual beliefs, food habits, the performances, and arts, etc. So we will see a kind of shared cultural heritage in this region. Next slide, please. We will see in the next slide that is the drainage pattern of this area. Drainage pattern of the area, you can see that how the rivers are linked with each other, and the whole area was linked, connected geographically, and also culturally through the riverine roads. And the River Tista is passing by the site. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, here you see that Panchagharh district map. In the left side and the right side, you have the bhitargarh site map. And Panchgarh, as you see, that Panchgarh is the northernmost administrative district of Bangladesh, and Bhitargarh is currently, that 16 kilometers slightly northeast of Panchgarh town, and it is in Amarkhana Union under Panchgarh Sadar Police Station. It is the largest fortified settlement in Bangladesh so far discovered, extending over an area of 25 square kilometer. Interestingly, the site is actually transnational because portions of its outer enclosures on the north and the northern part of west and east lie in Jalpaiguri district, West Bengal, India. You can see the yellow line in the northwest and north and northeast, where the Indian border showing, and that's the border is with the Jalpaiguri district. So the Bhitargarh site is sharing the borderline with Jalpaiguri district, West Bengal, India. Most of the inhabitants today, like who are living in this Bhitargarh archaeological site, and this is, as I said already, is a 25 square kilometer area where 30,000 people living on the sites, and the most of the inhabitants of this site today are migrants from different parts of Bangladesh, mainly from the districts of Kumilla, Rangpur, Tangail, and Mymensingh, who settled here recently. A small number arrived from Jalpaiguri district after the partition of 1947. The inhabitants, in their endeavor to extend cultivation and habitation, have caused considerable damage to the site. Physiographically, if you look at Bhitargarh lies in the old Himalayan Piedmont plain, is covered by the Piedmont sands and gravels. These were carried down by the Himalayan foothills at the end of the last glaciation, upper part of the upper Pleistocene, when monsoon rainfall accompanied by Himalayan glacial meltwater gave rise to enormous water flows. The gravel beds of the site, which are part of the Panchakar sandy gravel beds belonging to the Upper Pleistocene series. And the gravels of the Holocene series are quite large and are alternated with very coarse to medium sand, have quartz, quartzite, granite, genesis, and schist as their dominant lithologies. And their composition is identical with that of Daling series of Himalayas. Now, the topsoil of the site, known as black terai soil, is very dark gray or black in color, extends over a thickness of 25 centimeter or more. At places where the top soils extends to 90 centimeter, a well oxidized cambic B horizon lies under it. At places, texture of the soil is loamy sand, but over most of the landscape, it is sandy clay loam. The major hydrographic dynamics of the site are two rivers that originate in Jalpaiguri district. So next slide, please. This is one is called Talmud River, another is this is what we is a tea garden, because now recently that the inhabitants of Bhitargarh, they are more or less in every part of the land, they are planting, doing the tea plantation. So once you go to the side, you will see many tea gardens over there. Yeah. The next slide, please. And the final slide is
Hello. Hello. Shanaz? Oh, she's again gone off air. My goodness. Some problem with connection. Yes. What to do? Shahnaz is still connected. Shahnaz, you're connected?
I think the internet has gone off on our side.
Hello, Shahnaz? Oh my God. Terrible.
There was a brief disconnection on our side, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, so we may have lost her because of that.
what to do now?
I
How to
think
bring her back?
maybe
She might be
will.
still speaking and not even realizing it.
Yeah, maybe she will come back. I think because we lost connection for a bit. Yeah, at IIT, I think.
Oh, can we give her a call or something?
Yes, if you have her number, if you could give her a call.
No, not the number. Number, it's international. I cannot. Is she in? Shahnaz? Finished. Oh God. What to do now?
So what are we going to do, Sukanya? Are we going to continue?
Is there
I'm
any
trying
way
to
of getting in touch
connect
with
with
you?
her. I'm trying to
No,
do a
she
WhatsApp call.
joined for some time.
So
Just now she joined.
I
She
have just
joined
joined.
and then
Yes,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
there's been problem from our side also. The internet is slipping.
Yes,
Shahnaz, are you in?
yes. Now I am here.
I will
was
again start the PPT, okay?
getting in. Yeah, can you?
Yes. Oh God, I don't know why I switched it. Wait, I'll just do it.
Sorry, so all these things happening now only. So it's so many
No,
disruptions.
actually, it is a problem on our side also. We are having some problem with the what is called the internet. The
Yeah,
internet
yeah.
is not behaving well, I
Professor
think.
Shahnaz, this is a terrible day, and as audience, we're so feeling so sorry that your this presentation is being affected this
It is
way.
here. It's here.
Uh,
Yeah. Is it fine, Shanaz?
yes. So you can just
Go
yeah.
ahead.
This is fine. This is the Shal forest of bhitargarh is also noteworthy. So the next slide. As I was talking about, I don't know, like many disruptions. So, as I have already told you regarding the river system, because here we have two rivers, namely Talma and Kurum. So, these two rivers are in fact the tributaries of Korotoa River, and several paleo channels of these rivers have also been identified during archaeological explorations, when we have seen that these are clearly showing the marks of gradual shifting of courses of the rivers like Karatoa and Tista. The present course of Tista River is about 11.85 kilometer to the east, and Karatoa is just 9.5 kilometer to the west. So these two rivers are shifted time. And these two rivers, apart from this, we also have a Salmada River, which is immediately outside the western rampart of the second quadrangle. So this is what we are seeing now in this. This is the outer boundary wall. Can you just go back to the slide, to the site plan, so that I can just introduce the here? Yeah. So if you just look at the left side, the Bhitargarh plan, then you will find that it is it has many enclosures. So right in the inside, we say inner enclosure, and then it is surrounded by the another enclosure, which is the second enclosure, surrounded by another enclosure. So with four ramparts and more, so is the third enclosure. Then we have fourth enclosure. Between the third enclosure and fourth enclosure, the land is very little strip of land we see, that is only 180 meter in all sides. And all the enclosures having the ramparts with made of earth and brick ramparts, and also the moats outside of this. But in the we see in the southern part, as southern end, we have another 15 closure, and the eastern side we see the 15 closures, remnants of 15 closures. So other side we don't get. So the 15 closures is known as Shariamgarh. But in this, within this plan, if you look at also, we have many ancient ponds, tanks, which I will talk later. And the river, you can see that the rivers, all the rivers within the city, and the river water they have used within the city, in the moats, and as well as in the tanks and all these things. So this is the interesting side with for many things. There's a water harvesting, water management, building dams, making the settlement flood free. With all these things, it is very important. If you look at the this this site plan, you will also find there is in the north second enclosure and third, in between second enclosure and third enclosure, and also in between second and third enclosure in the south, both the side also we have a irrigation canal taking from the river to the south. Yes, please follow to the next slide. um, Next slide, we go to this next one. Yeah, here. So this is the okay. So these are the like the Shariam god. We have found the first one, the fifth enclosure, and then we showing the fourth enclosure. This is the part of third enclosure. Before I go to the site, let's share a bit historical information we have at hand before looking at the materials, because we when we are doing exploration survey and the previous literatures like the Buchanan survey and legends whatever saying, and the surrounding regions history what helps us. So all this together, what information we have, that is like according to local tradition, we have the ruined city of Bhitor, the capital of a king, they say, named Prithu, and who is known to the locals as Maharaja. And here my hunch is that that in the during the British time, colonial period, we had a Maharaja, because the Jamindars and then Maharaja system. So it is like a Jalpaiguri Maharaja. So maybe it is later version, because the local people today, they maybe remembering later phenomena, which is the Maharaja of Jalpaiguri. But this is, although they are, linking this Maharaja is with the Prithu Raja, but Prithu Raja is not the Maharaja, maybe but they are now uh, saying that is Maharaja, and most of the ruins which having in the sites known as Maharaja, or named after him, and they're saying Maharajar Bhita, Maharajar Kachari Ghar, or Maharajar Dighi. Some of these are named after him. And when Buchanan visited this site in the early 19th century, he is informing that the local Hindu considered Prithu Raja a very holy personage, and who was so much afraid of having his purity sullied, that on the approach of an abominable tribe of impure feeders named Kichok, he threw himself into a tank and was followed by all his guards, so that the town was given up to plunder and the family ceased to reign. And also we have the Prithu Raja, like Hunter and later all the writers, they also followed the same description and saying that Prithu Raja committed suicide by drowning himself at the Maharaja Dighi. Even today, uh, what is echoing again? Okay, so even today we see they like they say the local people who are living in Bhitargarh, they are saying that the spirit of Prithu Raja still haunts the place, and we do not have much that history about Prithu Raja and his city of Bhitargarh. But if we want to ascertain this past of either or both, it is necessary to look into the history of the medieval territory of Kamrupa. So these areas history is not related to this side, the easternmost side or the western side. So this is much more related to the medieval territory of Kamarupa, and because the site is just 9.4 kilometer east of Korotua River, and it is the eastern bank, Korotua River's eastern bank, and hence it was situated at the western margin of the territory. As Vandenbroek's map, Ranel's map, and Buchanan Hamilton's report indicate the Korotua was indeed a mighty river till the early 19th century. It is also important not to lose sight of the fact that the Korotua was not only the boundary of Kamrupa and Pundrabardhana in the ancient period, but also that of Kamrupa and the Muslim territory of Lakhnauti. So, which is, that which is also Minhaj describes that Karatua was as big river that thrice as broad as the Ganges. So we also find in the 16th century, the settlement may have been a part of Kamtakoch kingdom, and this settlement, a tribal state that emerged when a Koch chieftain named Vishwasinghe dropped the Muslim rulers. The latter had been ruling this territory as a part of Sultanate of Bengal after Hussein's conquered the medieval kingdom of Kamrup in 1498. Still earlier, if we look at the 1257 CE, we get Sultan Moghisuddin set out on his fatal expedition to Kamrupa. And during that time, there was no centralized monarchy in its western part, as this was divided among Baroviyas of the Boro, Koch, and Mech tribes. In the first half of the 10th century, we see the Cambodians who arrives in this area, as we found Dinajpur Bangar pillar inscription and the copper plate inscription, where we find the information that it's reigned briefly in Gaur in the 10th century. And we also learn from Shuniti Kumar Chatterjee and R.P. Chandu that the Cambodians were certain branch of the Mongolian race, from Tibet, Bhutan, or other Himalayan tablelands, and that they were ancestors of the Koch, Palia, and Rajbanshis of northern Bengal. Still further back, if you look at, if we would like to look at the prior to the 4th century, then we have to look at the history of Pragjateshpur, might be. So this area, we hear about Prithu Raja, and then there are lots of disagreement about the Prithu Raja. Some says that Prithu Raja was the 6th century. During the 6th century, he was forced to flee from Kamrup after he was defeated in a battle. And then he comes to Bhitargarh and founded his city. Then other disagree and talks about that, yeah, Kamrup, the history of Kamrup bears the name of Prithu, who is 1200 to 1228. We see the genealogy of the kings, where we find the name Prithu. So he is the early 13th century king. And it might be possible that Bhitargarh's the last king was Prithu, this Prithu. But then again, that some says that Prithu Raja and Raja Jalpesh III, who built this Jalpesh temple, Shiva temple at Jalpesh in Jalpaiguri around 9th century. So they are the same, and some says they are 1st century. And then Yogini Tantra talks about Jalpeshwar, came before Prithu Raja and not with him. They are not same, but maybe they are from the same family. So this way, this is also we have some coins from Kotalipara. We get coins which we get from Gwalpara, Assam.
Yes, Shahnaz?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah.
In that we do have I'm sorry. So here we see from the Kotalipara we get coins, gold coins, and those gold coins we get from Assam, Sylhet, and Tripura area as well in Assam. And which gold coins are also mentioning the name called Prithuvira. So we also say that they are Prithu or Prithuvira, and they are maybe the same another sets of Prithu Raja possibility. The whatever this we also learned some from somebody that the Pala rulers built these forts against the invasion of Cambodia and Tibet, and other talks about that Muslim medieval rulers built it. In this sets of our, that confusing opinions of scholars, and we started working in this, and we found that the evidences are showing that these are not created in the Muslim period, or not in the even in this by the early as the first century, third century, but it is the period from as the construction process and relative dating gives us the understanding that talks about that it is from 6th to 12th century and early 13th century. The site is very much active as an urban center. So the southern rampart of the fifth enclosure we saw, that is Shariamgarh, I already said. The fourth enclosure, this is the third enclosure where you see this the moat area, which is the depression area you see. This is in fact the India, Jalpaiguri, and the rampart is in Bangladesh in Panchagor side. So this is the here the borderline in fact the no man's land you can see here. And the next slide, you will see also the third enclosure's northern rampart, north side, which is, this is the north side. And these enclosures are really huge, big, because they see this side, as I say, 25 square kilometer area. So the fourth enclosure, which is the outermost enclosure, this is one side is 5.7 kilometer by 4 kilometer, and here in this third enclosure is one side is 5.3 kilometer by 3 kilometer. So these ramparts are so long, and these ramparts are also built up. This third rampart is also built of earth as well as brick, because strategic position they have made of the brick. And these old ramparts are surrounded by moats, as I said. These are depression, and 15-meter wide moats are surrounding these ramparts in all four sides. Next slide, please. Here you see the moat, which is the just outside the third in northern rampart of the third enclosure. Next slide. This is the Talmud River, as I was talking, that the site was served by two rivers, which is three rivers, Talma, Kurum, and Salmada. So this is Talma River coming from Jalpaiguri. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is Salmada River, which is flowing between the second enclosure and third enclosure. So it is within the third quadrangles on the western side that the Salmada River is flowing. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, here it is called Biribang. This is Talma River, and you see this is the area. In fact, that Talma River, we're getting into the Salmada River. So here the point, which is the channel going inside, this is the Salmada River going inside, and the big river you see, this is Talma, and here they say it is a Biribang. So local talks about that here there was a dam, which dam really helped, helped to diversify the water, redirect the water of the river channel, because the Salmada River was the main channel, and then they have redirected the water through the moats, through the western moats, western rampart, the moats outside the western rampart. So the water was redirected there, and this not this area, that Salmada, where Salmada River going down, and then in the Salmada River we have more dams. So they are making this. Next slide, please. So these dams are, we have in the same river, Salmada River, we have three. Local people says that there is a dam on in the area of Biribang. We have found in Damoni and Pathurghata, in these two areas, you see below the stone pieces. So like this kind of stone blocks with the holes, and local people also inform us, and we also saw the marks that they have used the iron clamps to for joining these stone blocks one with the other, and they made the dam in between the river. So in these two places, Damoni and Pathurghata, and which Domoni means do mohona, but two mouths of the river. So where the river again reunites in the more in the southwestern part of the site, and these stone blocks, the dams made of stone blocks are really they are helpful, because these dams they made to control or regulated the flow of the river. And these the Pathurghata area and the Domoni area, where people we have found many stone blocks in the people's house, who are the local people's house, who has got these things from the surrounding areas. And we also heard that some some construction taken place, so they have removed these stone blocks and used for some road construction somewhere. So we do not have all the evidences, but some of the blocks we find in the household area, in the homestays there. So from there we understand these dams are very much there, and these dams were built for regulating the water, redirecting the river water, and also keeping the water throughout the year, storing the water at certain level, the water they wanted they could hold here. And by that these water they could, as you know that this area is in the winter season there is no water, only the rainy season they get water, and then winter season is a dry. But this kind of the moats and the dam and they are storing so much water that they can use these water throughout the year for their cultivation and other activities. Yeah, the next slide, please. So this is the second enclosure, the moat with second enclosure. Next slide. And the second enclosure is also quite large, because it is east-west. It is the east and western arm is 3 kilometer, and north and south is 1.4 kilometer long. So this is also the western second enclosures, northwestern corner of the moat. Yeah, next one. Yeah, this is also the moat of the second enclosure in the western rampart. Next one. Yeah, so this is the rampart. You saw the earlier slide. You saw the outer face, and this is inside. So after excavation, we get the wall. So all these the second enclosures, all the ramparts, and the first enclosures or inner enclosures, all the ramparts are built, made of this brick, barn brick, and we also have seen the construction process and all the thickness and all these things. Yes, the next slide. And we see, next slide, please. And we see this in the second enclosure. The villagers also reports us that there are south side and north side. There is a Yamaduar and Kalduar, two gateways named. One is in the north, is known as Kaladuar, and in the south is Yamaduar. Yeah. So this is the second enclosure, northern rampart, part of the northern rampart. Yes. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, we just go on because these are the eastern rampart. This is the western rampart, and this is also the next one is the the bastion. We do have in this, you see, this is a bastion because as we have a long wall, so these long walls are in the outside of the wall, in at an interval, regular interval, we have a pillar, supporting pillar or bastions to support this wall. So this is one of these, and destroyed by the local communities for for enhancing their agricultural land. So they have took it off. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so this is Maharaja Dikhi. As I said, that they have named quite a few things after the name of the king. In fact, I also already mentioned that Bhitargarh has 10 ancient tanks or dighis. These are locally known as Maharajar Dikhi, Kodaldhoa Dikhi, Phulpukuri, Boro Molani Dikhi, Chingari Dikhi, Bakpukuri, Kaburguri, Jhalঝুলি Dikhi, Choto Molani Dikhi, etc. And these among these dighis, Maharaja dighis is the largest one. There are 53 acres of land we have in this Maharaja Dikhi, and this dighi has a huge embankment. It has also like this dighi, Maharaja dighi, as the local inhabitants informs us, and also the Buchanan, when visited the site in the first half of the 19th century, he observed that part of the bank that adjoins the palace is overgrown with trees and bushes and is supposed to be still the abode of the spirit of Prithu. So he talks about this, and he says the a flag is hoisted to denote that the ground is holy, and on approaching, my guides bow to the ground and call upon Maharaja Prithu by name. So it shows that the Maharaja Dighi was also, to the locals, it is very much a holy place, and it is the place where the King Prithu still, haunts here. So these all the local tanks were now using as a regular bathing, washing, fishery, etc. And Maharaja Digi is the enclosed with a huge banks, and as I said, it's a 53 acres of land, and it's almost 8 meter deep at the moment. But during the rainy season, it's almost 10 meter deep, and the Maharaja Digi having 10 brick paved ghats. So in the east and west side, it has 3 ghats in each side, and north and south side 2 ghats in each side. So 10 brick paved ghats, and also having the brick paved banks. So where this is and also this water is so clean that people worship this Dikhi also, and believes many rituals are also, and belief systems and legends, myths are also around this Maharaja Dikhi. Yeah, next slide, please. And this is the banks of the Maharaja Dighi from the outside. So you can see this the photographs from the northwestern side, the view from northwest. And if you look at this, if you stand on this bank, you can see if the sky is clear, then you can see the Kanchenjunga from here. Yeah. Next slide, please. So this is, as I said, the 10 ancient tanks. The Kodaldhua Dikhi is one, another one, and then next you will find the Pulpukuri, the next Choto Molani Dikhi, and yeah, next. Yeah, so this is the innermost enclosure where the innermost enclosure, which is also 340 meter by 650 meter, one small fortified area, and which is mostly the central place, and where we see the maybe the royal or the royal officials, and the center of the city was located in this area. So this rampart also having the outside bastions. Next slide, you will see that bastions during the excavation we found the bastions also. Yeah, next slide. So next slide. So you will see this is the almost in the central mound where we have lots of now it is used as a private graveyard of the Muslim family, local Muslim family. So and this site is known as Maharajar Kachari Ghar, and we when we excavated the site, and we found an ancient temple. So the next few slides you will get the temple views of the temple. Yes, this is the part of the temples. We could not open the whole side because the graveyards are still there. So I wanted to make the at least the ground plan to understand. So quite a few trenches have been taken, and could draw the ground plan. Yeah, next slide. So you will see, yeah, same next slide. This is the same temples. Yeah, next one. You see this next one. So you will see in the next slide, this is Bitternut Garden, and some homestays are behind. So 7-8 homestays in this site, and this is the completely a brick structure below. So yeah, you go to the next slide, you will see the religious structure, one temple side, and we have this is the 16 pillars in each side, south, west, and east, 16 pillar hall, and in the center it has a 3-storied like pyramidal structure, like very standing structure. So 3-storied structure in the center. So this is a huge area with almost 27 meter by 22 meter area having this structure. Yeah, next slide. This is interesting, in fact, because this is the brick foundation of the pillar, the brick, the corner pillar, that 16 pillar hall having the corner pillar with the central hole like this. So this is because they had because they made the foundation base of the pillar with the brick, but for superstructure to support they use the wooden pillar. So this is the wooden pillar will be fixed to this hole, and the superstructure will be supported by those wooden pillars. Yeah. Yeah, you can see that how this is one of the interesting photos I love to show, because it is with a quite hard job to excavate in the courtyard, one's courtyard, So, yeah. Next. Yeah, next. Same structure. See, the same part of the same structure. Yeah. Yeah, this is also the same structures part in the eastern side. This is another, so this is a residential structure. It looks like the residential, quarters and the rooms. So it doesn't look like the religious structure. But before we understand this structure, we could not excavate more because they have planted the tea gardens and blocked us to understand more. But we had one trench where we found the next slide. You will see we have that very good sections um, below this structure, and many pottery with this grayware pottery and full pots. In fact, you can see also some of them, and some bowls. We found some redware bowls and some this kind of water jars and cooking pots of black in color. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is another temple structure. Here it is important, significant, this structure, because you can see in the central pillar, you can see that they use the stone, The next slide, you will get the more clear view of the stone used in this. See, they have used it another structure, but they use the pebble stone, pebbles for in the construction. So it seems that the people of the area, because this is a Piedmont plain, and below this area we have this stone. You find at some places you go 3 4 meter 5 meter, and some places you have to go 10 meter, then you get the stone pebbles. And these pebbles are also used during that time, so that means they quarry it and they used in that structure. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, there's another structure which we could not get more of it. So, but this is part of the Yamaduar complex. Yeah, next. And this is another temple in the third enclosure. And here is very interesting as we find it just between the two water bodies. One is the Salmada River in the west, and east there is the moat of the second enclosure. So between these two water bodies, this temple was made. Yeah. Next one. We found quite a few sculptures, but very fragmentary, not the full things, and some of the pieces. So it's very difficult to understand which are. But we found some of these. We also found the like Vishnu head, and then we got the Chandi hand. In next slide, you will find that hand of Chandi there, and then you have a Vidyadhar uh, part. This kind of fragmentary image we found, but we didn't find a complete one. The next one, also a fragment of this is the stone blocks, but the next one is the fragments of one fragment of a sculpture, and this although it is very fragmentary, but we can clearly understand the Manusha image, because we see this she sits on a double lotus with her right leg in Ardha Prayanka pose, supported by a lotus. You can also see that she holds a child on her lap with her left hand, and Naga hoods encircle his head. The male figure who is a male figure was having the Naga hoods in his head, and another you will find that bearded figure, which is probably the bearded figure probably it is in his proper right side. You find that bearded figure, and so that we see that maybe that this is an image of Manusha, and holds her son Astika in her lap, and emaciated Brahmin ascetic, her husband Jarod Karu, maybe on her right, and her brother Bashuki, the king of serpents, whose head is Naga, who's showing that maybe there's Bashuki on the left, and it is maybe the that. So this fragments maybe not maybe, but this is a Manusha image, and this Manusha image showing that if this is imported one, that means it is also a significant evidence for trading activities. But if it is a local craftsmanship, because we have found many broken pieces and also the stone blocks, so if they are making locally, that means it is showing the local craftsmanship as well. So this is craft specialization and the materials and the importing materials, because it is a black basalt and this is not locally available. So all this showing the kind of cultural connections and commercial connections between the regions. Yeah, next one. We also have some terracotta ring wells. Two of these we have found excavated, but some more locations, informed us by the local community who inform us. Yeah, next one that during our excavations we also have some pottery assemblages, and the pottery also showing the craft specialization of this area. And this assemblage consists the pottery assemblage consists exclusively of red ware and gray ware, but this gray ware is little bit different types of gray ware. Although the pottery of the site is predominantly wheel made, but we also found quite a few handmade potsherds and during excavations, and these potteries can be broadly divided into two varieties: fine and coarse variety, and the few gray wares in the coarse variety are sleeved and painted, and also the fine variety we get also the sleep and painted pottery. And vessel forms are diversified. We have a plate like thalas, dish, bowl, saucer, that cooking pots of various sizes, globular cooking pots of various sizes. Then we have earthen lamps like diya and tawa, uh, like this, and decorated with also incised and next slide please. With these pottery also decorated with incised decoration, or and some of them are also stamped one. Next one. So you see that incised decoration and also the stamped one left side, you will look at it. The next one. We also have found iron objects, various types of iron objects, right from the utensil to the weapons or tools, and also many iron slags. Is a huge number of iron slags we have found, so which indicating the iron is melting activities. And we also got copper and gold ornaments, such as bangles, rings, etc. So the structural remains in this site, structural remains and the antiquities and all this showing that is not at all the medieval site, but the site is maybe started during 6th, 7th century to 12th, 13th century. It was the active urban centers, and as we see the indicators of a city or an urban settlement. If we talk about the large settlement of internal planning, the public architecture, settlement hierarchy, encircle defense mechanism. We talk about the prevalence of a script, craft specialization, or long distance trade. In terms of all this, we find that bhitargarh is very much suitable, and bhitargarh, that Manusha image or the religious adherence of Prithu Raja, all this showing that the site was in religious adherence, at least the Hinduism or mostly Brahminism. So we, but maybe with little part of the, that like local deities are also maybe important. So they may have some local religious practices apart from the classical Brahminical religion. And in this site is also very important because Bhitargarh's, data, archaeological data is, carries many similarities with Arthashastras, like the construction of moats, ramparts, the internal layout to the city gates, then streets and allocation of different areas of different communities or purposes. And then, but then also there are differences between this. And then they not only similarities, but then we find the dissimilarities between this. Like we see that some places where Arthashastra guiding that there should be some hierarchical differences, and where we may not find in Bhitargarh. Bhitargarh, we find that mostly the areas are divided within the city. The site is divided into the agricultural land, craftsmanship, and the that official administrative area, and the residential area, and the religious religious public architectures, even the tents. And we also say that Bhitargarh may have served as a locus of cultural and commercial relations between Bengal, Middle Ganga Valley, Trans-Himalayan region, Middle Brahmaputra Valley, and beyond, because it was situated by the Talma, which was once the main channel of the Karatua. The site could easily facilitate trade with Tibet because of its accessibility by the Tista in Sikkim, and also with Pundrabardhana, which was situated by the bank of the Karatua. The diversion of the Salmada into the Talma at Biribang served three purposes. It followed the embankments across the Salmada to store water for the dry season. The Talma served as a moat, and it also served as the riverine route, riverine route for trading vessels to embark at the port side. And we also have one particular site in the southwestern location of the way the third enclosure and the second enclosure finishes, and with fourth enclosures with the Domoni. After the Domoni, where the Shalmara meets the river Karatua, in that place we find a small fortified area, very small area, bounded area, where we say this local calls the site is Dhumgarh, and that site may be a port site, which may be facilitating the routes and vessels in that area, and that trans-Himalayan trade route connecting Bengal with Tibet through Himalayan passes. Bhitargarh may also have connected with ancient Magadh and southwestern China via the Brahmaputra Valley in Upper Assam, and Tibet and Mekong River, Batang, and southern section of the eastern bank of the Mekong. And Bhitargarh may not have been sole nodal point in the trade routes noted above. Many, if not all, fortified settlements in the region have served similar purposes because in the in and around Bhitargarh also we found more fortified area, like 16 fortified areas have been reported so far, and we so that we say that there may be more sites. And for example, you see the Jalpaiguri may be taken up this role in the colonial period, as you see that because the origin of its name from Bhutanese term Jelepe Guri. Jelepe Gori means a place where warm clothes are bought and sold. That means a marketplace. And even in the Guwahati, if you look at this, Guwahati is also a marketplace of the betel nut, because in our language, in this local language, the betel nut is locally called Gua. So that it is named Guwahati, means the marketplace of betel nuts. So these many marketplaces and central places for trading centers developed in this area, maybe similar type. And next slide, please. So as we see that there are, many uh, uh, the site is not with the lots of people are living there, and we have to protect the sites. In Bangladesh, we also needs to make this archaeology more aware the people about this archaeology. So my idea was in 2009 when I said that to generate a tactile experience of behavior and culture of the past among the students of other disciplines who are not studying archaeology, but other disciplines like computer science and engineering, electronic engineering, media studies, business administration, language, literature, etc. I developed the course called Experiencing the Past, so that the students they can involve, or they can join our archaeological projects. Next slide. So we also have trained the landowners, local landowners whose land, like if we find a mound, then we find out whose land it is, and then the landowners are trained, and so that they can we never take any outsider to dig there. So we train there, and we work with them, train them how to do it, and then so that to make it possible for them to be a part of the archaeological investigation team, and thus take a rightful claim to their own heritage. And we next slide. We also train the children. So where they have in archaeological investigation techniques, excavation, exploration, etc., and for providing them with hands-on access to ancient materials, develop their knowledge on ancient civilization, and also giving them a kind of feeling of national, a touch of national identity, where they can feel proud that they also have the heritage kind of thing. So trying that through this program. We have, next slide, we also have trained the local van drivers as a tour guide, so that their socioeconomic development takes place. Next slide. We organize photo exhibitions in the locally, so to make them look at their own things in our through our eyes, because we take the photos, and many photos they have seen and they said, wow, we do not know that is like this, because many things in their area which they see this is not at all important, but when we take a photo and show them, and they really like it. Even the pottery, that they don't like the pottery because it is not at all valuable. But when we take the photos of the designs or the functions, and we explain, and then it becomes the important. So this is another options to present the things. Next slide. Yeah, we share our findings. Whatever we get, we share our findings with the communities, and learn from them as well. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is another year that we wanted to have a bhitargarh Utsav, the heritage festivals. Next slide. So in heritage festivals, we have, talked to or discussed with all local communities in different levels. With the chairman members, to the school teachers, to the journalists, to the local policing community, and the general local villagers. And once they agreed, then we were on board and we started the festivals. Yeah, next slide, please. So when we started the festivals, and I was just a facilitator, but I told them to organize, so they were doing by their own. You will find that they are all working with their own materials, the bamboo, and they are making the stages and all this. Next slide. Yeah, decorating the yeah, next one. Yeah, so this is an inauguration program of One Heritage Festivals. We are organizing this heritage. Next slide. We are organizing this heritage. In fact, these festivals from a long time back, like 2010 onwards. But previously we used to do 2 days long. But then now we made it for 7 days long heritage festival. So this is our heritage festival, having three different category. In the morning session, three session we divided. So morning session for the children's school children who will participate in the competition. Next slide. This is an art competition. You can see that how many audiences present there. It's a debate competition on the role of communities to preserve cultural heritage. In the next slide, you will see the cultural program, that competition of the cultural program. In the next slide, please. And in the afternoon, we have the indigenous games like Lati Kala, like the other indigenous games. In next slide. And, yeah, so this is the indigenous games, and you can see that all the villagers, the school children's, women's, men's, everybody comes to see that, and they enjoy this. Next slide. Yeah, this is called very interesting. It's called Hashkala. In fact, they just leave one duck in the pond, and this is the historic that Pulpukuri. And this Pulpukuri, they just leave one duck, and then all the people came down to the pond to catch that particular duck.
Rubul,
That is the
10টা বজাত
this,
কমিটি ৰুম
that is
কমিটি ৰুমটো বুকো কৰিব লাগিছিল কৰাই নাই হেৰি ইয়া লাগে এইটো কি কয় লেপটপটাও লাগিব
and the night
তোমাৰ ডেস্কটপৰ পৰা কানেকশ্যন এটা আনিব কি হৈছে
and the
Sukanya,
night performances.
could you mute yourself, please?
And the
yeah.
night we have these performances. This is the indigenous performances there, and
নহয় নহয়
we are having these performances and the heritage festivals. There are also, that lots of what happened? Yeah, next slide. Next one. Yeah, this is also the one indigenous yeah, performance. Next one. Next one. Yeah, you will see that this is happens because of the that lots of, because heritage festivals is going on, so there are other things like the food, different types of food, local foods are made and sold over there. And the next one, and also lots of crafts are sold during that time. So each and next slide. So each of these people who participated in this or who were engaged in the festivals, everyone gets good money when they go home. This is our one things that to engage the local communities more in the heritage preservation and patronization. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. The crafts are sold. Yeah, next one. I think this is okay. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, there were many problems with starting from the network, internet problem, and then our presentation problem. But I think this, thank you very much for this.
Yeah.
And
in fact, we should apologize for the connection problems. I do not know.
no,
Maybe it sounds like from our side, and I'm also personally sorry for keeping this unmuted. I was coughing, I think. I didn't
no problem.
realize
So
that it was
I
because
think
we're doing the slide.
with all this problem, I'm sure you have catch
Yes,
up a bit and you understood the site. So if you have a question, I'll be very happy to answer.
yes.
And
If we can have questions, and the if there are questions on YouTube, you can direct it, and if there are questions here also from
yeah,
the
yeah,
audience.
maybe Debokpriya can help.
No, Sukanya, we do not have any questions on YouTube as
Okay,
yet.
fine. Yeah.
So that means nobody understood anything what
So
I
there
said.
is no, it's all. So there is Bikash Das who wants to ask a question. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful lecture. I'm a PhD student in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. Actually, ma'am, I come from Jalpaiguri and I have been to many places. Actually, what you just referred. So it was a wonderful experience for me. I'm not a student of archaeology, but your the entire talk actually sparked my interest into the entire field. I don't have a question, but I have a request indeed. Can you please share your contact details also, and if you can provide me with some readings on this region and the history of this region, so what you are talking about, and also about the Panchagar in Bangladesh. So it would be really great if you share your writings or any other kind of readings that I can actually go through. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe that we can continue. Thank you, Bikash. Any questions?
So you can get my contacts from Shukurnia.
Yeah.
From
He
you,
can
right?
contact me also. Bikash can contact me also.
Yeah.
I can give you the contacts, etc. Upasna Chetri, yeah. Upasna wants to come in.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Professor Jahan. It was such a wonderful presentation. And actually, even I don't have a question, but I wanted to say that regarding Jalpaiguri, when you said Jalpaiguri was the original name given by the Bhutanese, in the Sikkim Chronicles, the Lepchas used to call this place as Jalausi, and it used to be the southernmost extent of the Lepcha land. They called that land Mayalliang. And there are also stories about how the Lepcha chief married one of the princesses of this region called Gajomit, which is equated with the term Gajamati. So, Professor, I wanted to ask if have you come across any name of the princess or queens named Gajamati or something similar to it?
No, I have not. So this is interesting information, really. So we may be looked at, but I have not. No, so far, no.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
No.
Professor. This is
But
so
the thing
interesting.
is, yeah, the thing is in the Jalpaiguri, in fact, coming in the more, in the during the colonial time. So then I was talking about that it was a trading center during that Jalpaiguri I'm talking about because it is a trading center, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, each and every places has their own name and they may have many. And Gajamati also, indicates one thing because this particular area, that Assam and Kamrup, Kuch Bihar area, is also famous during the ancient time with the elephants, elephant tusks, these
Okay. Yes.
things are there, and so they may be indicating this kind of things. It's not like always literary meaning this, but yeah, there are some indications
Okay.
as
Thank you so much,
well,
Professor.
also going from this area. Yeah. Okay, it seems nobody understood
Yes.
what I.
No. Actually, I was speaking, but I was not. Again, I was very conscious about not muting myself, and I had muted myself this time when I was talking. No, I was mentioning about the vast expanse of your work, starting from understanding the hydrology of the place to, making, building awareness among local inhabitants about for conservation. A single archaeologist achieving this much. I think no, that is enormous, and that makes it even more wonderful. And I think it's really being you're all being overwhelmed by this in the fact that there can be so much to ask, but from which point? So I think we'll stay in touch. And yes, Professor Shahnaz, the opportunity we get, I'm sure if you can come in again physically. She was here a few years back, but
Yeah.
her work also, she travels too, and that is how I think it would be possible for us if she travels this side to check on Prithu. Because of course Raja Prithu is very much part of Kamrupa history. 12th century, he 11th 12th, in between that period it is 1100 something, he defeated the first Muslim, or rather he stopped the first Muslim invasion to Kamrup. And very near to IIT we have these inscriptions which talks about that it was there, it was here in fact where I'm sitting just now, that this battle had happened, and Raja Prithu had stopped the first Muslim invasion in Assam. So that's how I think we can think about having further context. You are, as you said, maybe 500 to 700 kilometers away only, not very far. I hope again all the connections the river had, all the connections our road had, territory had. At some point of time, we can travel on them as maybe Prithu or as maybe the other inhabitants of Kamrupa used to do, and all the trading that happened, the Himalayan trading that happened, and evidences that clearly
Sure.
indicate the that it was a shared landscape. So, saying that, again, a very big thank you to Shahnaz, Professor Shahnaz, and also the students and faculty who are present here today. I can see Professor Arvind Kumar Singh. He has remained with the initial hiccups in the connection, etc. It was, some sort of what is called break, but it was so engrossing after we started, your presentation went on, that the data that didn't give us any any time, at least for me, to feel that time was like flying, and it was uh, like a little late in the evening. Okay. Yeah. So Upasana, your hand, you can just lower, I think, right? And besides that, I do not think there are any questions. Debopriya, Dr.
Yes,
Debopriya Basu
absolutely.
is
Thank
the
you.
organizer of the talk.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Dan, for this absolutely engrossing. I think we are all a little overwhelmed by the implications of what you have said to come up with questions right away. But I think this can lead to a lot of a very rich discussion when we've all had time to sort of assimilate whatever you have said. It was absolutely fascinating, and especially coming from a completely different discipline, it was extremely enlightening, and we cannot thank you enough for opening up such vistas for us. Thank you so much once again. Thank you everyone for being with us patiently through all the technological hiccups. We hope this will not happen again. And we'll be trying our best to do things better next time. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so maybe we can end the meeting now.
Right.
Sukaina?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Srinand.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.